to the Nifty Travel Podcast.
Right. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for your invitation.
You're welcome. Uh, and the first thing I always like to ask my guests is about
Mhm.
your earliest memories of travel.
Oh, my earliest. I think I have to back many years. Today I am in my 50s, 50, 51, right? I think I'm start at the age of 17. In that time, it was a very a small business and here in North Patagonia, Puerto Varas. I remember it was a hiking group from Germany, Switzerland, 8 people, something like that, for a quite difficult road in the middle of the mountains and the Andes. Beautiful, 5 days, 4 nights camp, visiting beautiful rainforests and with a hot spring in the middle, bending bridge. In that time, we carry over 20 kilos, big backpack, 90 liters. Still, I have this backpack, okay, 100. But the funny thing that in that time, I had very few English word, but I never speak German, and it was just one member that I communicate with him. He speak very good English. Or I think he was professor or something, But the rest of the people, not really. But we had a really great time there, and why I took this trip. It was because at the beginning, always it was interesting when I saw my first raft kayak arriving to Puerto Varas. As I told you before, I was grow up in a country. Yeah, I am a country boy, And when I saw the sport, I say I would like to do someday this kind of things, sport, whatever. I was very good in sport. Yeah, from the boy. Okay, running with the cows, with the horses. You're good. Um, and then that was my first chance. I remember I went. I was very insist to these people, and they sent me with another guy. I think it was a tour leader at that time, but I was the person who know the trail. All right, and that was my first big trip. I spent a really 5 days from one point, one lake to another, crossing these beautiful areas. I was a friend of the one of the cowboys in this place because also we use horses to carry all this heavy stuff crossing rivers. We crossing 5 times different rivers, and then after the trip, I realized that that is was one of the things that I want to do it. And after 30 years, 33 years, I'm still doing.
Well, it must have been a very impactful trip for you to say this is going to be the future.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, I didn't know about that. So many years without any, no power. So it was just candle and the very small refuge. They did camp, all this small stuff that I never saw before. Okay, so I make fire every time, to cook things in my home. But yeah, and then all this beautiful jacket that I never see it. I use a poncho. I use a poncho that time. I didn't have any jacket, good jacket, whatever, with a rubber boat. And then, I also, of course, I like it all those technical clouds and also how the people move it. I was a very impact see senior travelers. Remember, probably was people over 60, 65. I never saw before because, when I saw my first outdoor people who practice rafting, kayak, I saw just young people, So I remember I was impacted to see, senior travelers so active, uh, like to dogs, cats jumping over, the hills, quite difficult trail, Yeah, it was a fantastic experience. I think that was one of the things that marked my life.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you live in Puerto Varas. Is that somewhere where you've grown up from as well?
Yes, I was born in Puerto Varas. First of all, Chile. Chile is a very long country, so one of the longest country in the world, with over 4,100 kilometers long. Uh, has today 16 different districts. Our district, we call it Lakes and Volcanoes District. Lakes, because we have many lakes, beautiful lakes. And then we concentrate with Araucanía district, the major or largest active volcanoes in Chile. You must know that in Chile we have over 1,000 volcanoes. We are inside to the Pacific Ring of Fire. Okay, and also we have a lot of earthquake as well. So yeah, but that is located in latitude. We are located at close to latitude 41 south. Puerto Varas. It's a beautiful town. 1 hour 20-minute fly from Santiago, so it's not a long distance. Very good highways. So just for example, the airport located in Puerto Montt. Puerto Montt is the main capital of a Lake District. It's just half hour driving transfer. Um, Crossing beautiful farms, landscape. Uh, Puerto Varas also has and concentrate the largest hotels in the district. So in Lake District, I will say it's one of the best places to stay because also Puerto Varas is close to 3 national parks. It's no more than 1 hour. All right. So that means it's not a very long, very scenery, travel to get to the national park. I will say in terms of population and 30,000 inhabitant people, which is very nice. So mostly hotels, they are no more than 10 minute, very soft walk to get to downtown, where you will find, very nice restaurant, tapas bar, beer bar, wine. You must be know in Chile we produce wonderful wine as well. Okay, we are not in the wine region, but of course we have wine, chicha, and many things. So I will say is a beautiful, perfect city to stay in northern Patagonia.
Mm. I was looking at being a European,
Mm,
uh, looking at how long the journey might take, and I think the quickest time was 20 hours. Um, so, is Santiago like the most common entry point into the country for
it
people
is.
from overseas?
It is. It is the main gate of Chile. Of course, if you take a flight from anywhere, Santiago. Today, from the last 2 years, we built a new terminal. Is Today is one of the mother. It is the mother airport in all Latin America and one of the three largest in the whole America. Okay, three or number four, and also I'm talking about the international terminal. And then this year they are working in the rebuild the national terminal as well. And yes, is the main gate of Chile, Santiago, where is our capital. But I will say, in the case of our traveler, because well, you must know I am a DMC, a trip planner. I have my own company. I will say 90% of the travelers that we receive, they spend 1 night, 2 night maximum in Santiago, and they fly down here in northern Patagonia or South Patagonia, where I will say is the most popular destination, Torre del Paine in Chile.
Yeah, and of course, because I'm uh, I'm from the top of the world, as they say. Um, do you find that people from the northern hemispheres get confused by the seasons being completely opposite to what they are used to?
If they are confused, I don't think so. So the European, they are very well prepared people, very professional travelers. Unfortunately, I can tell you, I don't receive many UK travelers. I don't know why. Okay, I don't know why. I have just one travel agency that uh, we did a couple things here hiking, right? From this travel agency, they has a base in London. Okay, uh, but I was thinking about it. Just when I was taking my coffee, and also I remind my time when I was teacher why UK people, and probably I have the answer, but the why UK travelers landing more in Argentina than Chile. Okay, and it's and also it remind me when I was looking some information, was checking my emails. I was a teacher. I was a teacher for 10 years, in a trade university here in Puerto Montt. Puerto Montt is the main capital of the Lake District, and that is why I'm going to jump in and support one of the universities, a new one. I never been there. It's a new one, private in Puerto Montt. I received an invitation as a company. Um, but I remember when I showed to my fellows, to my students, the typical program of a UK travel agency. I don't want to say the names, okay. and I show them and I say, wow, this is the typical mistake that many overseas travelers, do when they want to offer a one destination. Because, for example, just I'm going to give you an example. I'm still see it. All right, Buenos Aires, all right, and then landing in Calafate, go to Chaltén, okay, and then they cross to Torre del Paine, which is a very long, just transfer. And some of them, they go just for the day and then back. So we're talking about 16 hours minimum, 14 hours, where it's kind of I call it rally tour, because people don't really enjoy the trip. It's a very fast tour, photos, and then run and back again. So where, according to my experience, why not start it, all right, in Buenos Aires, spend your time in Calafate, Chaltén, which is beautiful, completely different Patagonia, and then cross to Chile, do this fantastic time in one of the wonder of the world, natural wonder of the world, Torre del Paine, and then fly or drive up to Chile and end in Santiago. For me, that will be the perfect time. Why you have to go and back? Or other companies, they do, the hike, photographic, the famous Bezos Tower, 2-3 days, and then back again to to Calafate, Buenos Aires, UK. I say, why don't leave Torres del Paine, Puerto Natales, Punta Arenas, Santiago, 3 hours and a half, one night if you want, and then UK. So for me, that will be the perfect, because you give to the travelers a different photos of different people, different countries, and that will be, I think, the perfect, planning trip. Well, probably that is why I'm planning trip today.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, as part of our chat today, we can encourage more people to come to Chile.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
So I imagine, though, you mentioned it early on that Chile is a very long country. So how do people plan what to do, and how do people typically travel between cities and regions?
Well, I'm going to refer to our main market. We are North American people from United States, Canada. Uh, well, the people from North America doesn't have long, or they don't really take long trip compared to European travelers. All right. So we are talking about 8 days, 12, very maximum. I will say for retired people, 12 days maximum. So the best way to visit this long country in 8, 12 day, I will say it's a combination between Santiago, always enter to Santiago, 2 nights, where you can do the first day, a sightseeing at the evening, nice. Next day, or also the first day, if you are not really tired, depending, you're gonna do or we do a nice sightseeing of Santiago, walking. Try to just leave the long flight behind you. Walking. We include walking in our excursion, in our tour, in our program. So the minimum walking is going to be 4 miles, 3 miles, or 4 or 5 kilometers per day. you know um, where we do in a kind of a city walk in Santiago, and then we go to Maipo Valley and enjoy a beautiful lunch when wine tasting. Maipo Valley, try our first wine, and then the next probably is a full day Valparaiso, which is all another demanding city. People, they want to see all this cultural street paint, and Valparaiso. But also we do a stop in Casablanca Valley, which is another very well now wine region, and taste different wine. So with those 2 days, we can show, to the people a little bit touch of different things of the central area of Chile. And after that, the people fly to down south, all right, where we divide the time between northern Patagonia, where the people they interested in visit the Patagonia. Patagonia is a very long region. I don't want to say everybody's going to visit in 12-day Patagonia. No, it's not true. Just drive to the Austral Highway. It's going to take you 15 days, 2 weeks, right? But at least the people, they can touch different things from northern Patagonia, where it's completely different to down south. In northern Patagonia, you have the lakes, you have the rainforest, because the rainforest, Patagonian rainforest, is located in northern Patagonia, not in down south. All right. And then the volcanoes. If you want to walk and see beautiful active volcanoes, this is the place. Rainforest, lakes, river. We have a lot of outdoors. We're a very outdoor. I remember a couple of years ago, travelers, they thought that Chile was quite calm, not many things to do. No, Chile is very outdoor. It's very outdoor. All right. And then, spend 4 nights here, 5 maximum. Also visiting Chiloé, the penguins. The people love penguins. All right. They love penguin, dolphin, whatever. Also, we have whales, but the whales is more difficult. I don't really have any trip with whales, right? And then people fly down south, Torres del Paine, where they spend another 5 days and do hiking, photographic, spend the time with the local gaucho, it's kind of a cowboy, and they fly back to Santiago and home. And in this program, you have 12 days. That's it. So the best way to visit the whole country, if you don't have 20, 25 days, will be at least in 3 different trips. Okay?
Yeah.
Santiago, down south, Santiago, north of Chile, Atacama, which also is completely different, the Altiplano, Sal Flat, whatever. And then we have the combination with Easter Island, Rapa Nui, which is a different world. It's a different Chile. So that is why I remember I teach my students that the country, is better to promote and visit at least in 3 different times.
Oh, you mean at different
Three,
times in
three different trips.
3 different trips. Yeah.
Right. If you don't really have 20, 25 days, for example, now, I received email February high season here, March, from two ladies from United States. They are from Chicago, and they going to travel with us. It's not very common. 28 days,
Hmm.
right? They wanna arrive to Santiago, go to north of Chile, but also we have the combination with Argentina. Cruise to Argentina, Bariloche, coming to here, Lake District, Chiloé, then down south in Puerto Natales, Torres del Paine, Torres del Paine, Calafate, Calafate, Buenos Aires, Buenos Aires, Iguazú, Iguazú, Buenos Aires, chick, chick, that's it.
Hmm.
28 days.
Very good.
Yeah,
So, I imagine in such a large country, there are a lot of cultural uh, differences per regions, and probably different um, indigenous people living in each.
yeah.
Would you say there's a big difference? Because history is very important in travel, isn't it? Do you, are there very big differences visitors can experience?
Yes, you're right. In past, we had a very different indigenous. Many of them they were killed by the conqueror, the Spaniards. All right, that has happened just around the world. Okay, in many other countries. But still in Chile, you can recognize, at least five, six different indigenous. In north of Chile, we have the Aymaras, Quechuas, the same Quechua you will find in Bolivia and also up to Peru. Then we have other small, don't really see it when you travel because Aymaras, Atacam, people from Atacama, and Quechuas, you will see it when you travel to Atacama, San Pedro Atacama, north of Chile. Sometimes, well, the old people they don't really want to be involved in the travel. Very very few, right? Sometimes you can see the indigenous people, young people, they are being having a good, education, and then study or learn English, which is very important for the industry. You can have a couple as a guide. I will say, and then if you travel around Chile, the main indigenous community, and also it is over the 80% of the indigenous community is the Mapuches, and the Mapuches has a long history in Chile. Always they are being very tough people. They were a warrior. Yeah, for example, they expulsed the Incas when the Incas they was an empire here. They were the only tribe indigenous they expulsed it to north of Chile and then again, Peru, and then also with the Spaniard conqueror with more than 300 years war. The Spaniards they never won the war, okay, against the Mapuches. So and also today our different governments, right, left, whatever, don't really has a very good relationship with the Mapuches. So okay, so they're very tough people. I respect a lot because they are being a very important indigenous in our history. I have a couple programs in northern part of Araucanía. Araucanía is the Mapuche region, all right? But there are places where the Mapuches living where also the police can go, okay? So the news, they are not to tell you that, but it's true. Every Chilean know that, all right? I have a very good relationship with the Mapuches. You can also find some Huilliches, same people, but living in South here in Chiloé. We visit, for example, a family. I have a program. We visit a local family. We cook a nice curanto, which is a very Huilliche style food, prepared as a very old recipes. And also I have in north in Araucanía, Curarrehue. That's the place where I have the option because sometimes you can stay in a different houses of the people with with the Mapuche blood, but also you can use the service as a lunch, the box lunch and also the dinner. I used to do and try to also support the local people, get all the products, the natural product, and also give the chance to our travelers be in touch with this, with the local people and local indigenous, which is very nice. I have a very nice, good relation with a client from United States, from Seattle. It's a hiking club. They come in and visit us every season. And I've been doing in the last season this type of program, multi-day. Fantastic, fantastic. Always I try to involve in my programs, when I customize program, local people, always.
Yeah. Well, that's a good
And then
idea.
in Rapa Nui, yeah, it's a good. And then Rapa Nui, well, Rapa Nui, where I will say 99% of the habitant of the island, they are a guide, local guide. They are very proud, they show the island. And also it is a rule where you must contract a local guide from Rapa Nui when you visit the island. For example, now in just a couple, 2 weeks less, October 2, I will be open my season with 10 travelers from the United States, and they want to spend 5 days, 4 nights at the island. And also I be in touch with my guide, Elena Tuki in
Mm,
Rapa Nui. Yeah.
yeah. Well, it's good to keep those connections going.
Mm-hmm.
Now, now I've been looking at maps and photographs and things, and
All
clearly
right.
there's lots of beautiful things to see. Uh,
Yep, a lot.
I noticed glaciers and waterfalls, mountains, and you mentioned there's lots of volcanoes. So,
Yes.
is it safe to go near them?
Yeah, well, we never know with the nature. So that's it. So, okay, and but I will say I don't have any register with problem with travelers be stuck after an eruption or earthquake. Quite normal for us. Okay, so when you have over 6.5, in Chile nothing happened. We know in another part of the world, people they are just cry, whatever, say, oh, all right, it's a rumor, 6.5 doesn't happen. So Chilean here start moving from their seat is over 7.5. All right, all right. That is our level. But in the case of the volcanoes, it's the same. Volcanoes, they are not very few volcanoes. They are close to the tourist villas and cities. Um, Not at all. No. So I think in Chile we respect a lot of nature. Uh, of course, we have not really good experience with the earthquake and tsunamis. We'll say I think the Chilenos they are more afraid of tsunamis, as we live in a very thin country with over 5,800 kilometers coast and also fjords. Okay, tsunamis is a big thing. No, not really volcanoes. In my case, I don't really do extreme adventures, so very few cases, and I had requests where I have a mountain climb. They want to go up to the Ozono volcano or the Villarrica, which is one of the most active volcano in Latin America. Uh, but I would say no because the other active volcanoes they are quite far, so you will need expedition to get there, but not really. No, no.
But volcanoes make for very fertile lands, don't they? So um, where we fear nature, but nature is recreating uh, itself all of the time. Um, Tell me a little bit about There are quite a few glaciers, aren't they? Because I think they're very fascinating um, to look at.
Yeah, well, you must be know that after Antarctica, which is a continent, Groenland, I'm gonna leave Antarctica because it's a continent, all right? Groenland, and then after Groenland, the Patagonian ice fields are the second largest glacier, and also water reserve on the world. This from the Patagonian ice field, northern Patagonia, southern Patagonia, located, in Chile. Chile concentrate the 94% of the total glacier. The other 6% is belong to Argentina. So you can realize we have a lot of glacier here. Difficult to access, all right? Our Patagonia, even we living in a very thin country, it's not easy to get and climb and a ride in many places in Patagonia and Chile. It's very pristine still and very virgin. Okay, and also one other thing as where think and the fjord they are too close. Weather, you know, make that sometime your trip or visit places it make quite challenging. That is why it's so pristine, our Patagonia. Also, we have a beautiful Patagonia National Park network created a couple years ago, 17 National Park, beautiful, by um, Douglas Tompkins, and also, our government as well. That's just keep going with the idea. Uh, there are places in northern Patagonia beautiful where you can, of course, make a base if you want to travel comfortable. See a couple walls like to San Rafael, San Rafael Lagoon and also National Park. It's a huge glacier. PO11, which is the largest glacier, in the whole America. You can visit when you navigate from Puerto Montt to Puerto Natales. Of course, you have to spend 3 days and a half navigation for the fjord, right? Okay. And then I'm talking about the northern Patagonia. This is part of northern Patagonia. Aysén region, at the end of Aysén region. And then the southern Patagonian ice field is located in Magellan district, our last district, where it's located Tierra del Fuego, Punta Arenas, Puerto Natales, Torres del Paine. Of course, in Torres del Paine, you can visit the famous Gray Glacier. This is one of the trips that we have. Now in November, I have other trip because also I am the trip leader for this trip. And one of the very last day in down south Patagonia is we visit the faces, the three different faces of the glacier. The other glacier, you have to do it by doing hiking, famous W View, Peak Circuit, and also Aysén, San Valentin, and around. So, glacier exploradores, where you need to, walk a lot. Today, every time we can find a cabin, road, but still, there are many places where it's very difficult to get there.
Well, in a way, that's a good thing, isn't it? Because we need to preserve a lot of things, and
Yes, and in Chile
not
we preserve. We love preserve.
yeah. Now you mentioned a long coastline, but there are also islands off Chile. Easter Island is one that's well known in our parts of, of the world, but it's not very near Chile, is it?
No, no, not at all. It is 5 hours and a half from Santiago. Yeah, so 5 hours there and a half, and then 5 hours back. Also, Rapa Nui means, Rapa Nui Easter Island, means it's half, but you are in the half of the body. So at least you are in the middle of the nowhere in Rapa Nui, and it's true, very far, okay, and very different.
Yeah,
Nice people there.
indeed. So, but there's a lot of native animals to Chile, aren't there, that we probably a visitor's not going to see anywhere else? Can you talk about some of them?
Well, okay, here the famous animals, not that easy to see it more in Torres del Paine, is the puma lion. All right. I will say, I don't know, 95% of the travelers that we receive, they want to see the puma. All right, they want to see the puma. Um, eh, well, we don't really have a very large wildlife compared to Africa, all right, compared to Africa. But also, for example, for north of Chile, we have the guanacos, the type of camelidus. In Chile, we have the four camelidus, the American camelidus, the guanaco is the largest one. The second is the llama or llama, domestic. Alpaca, famous for the wool, domestic. And then the vicuña, a small one. Difficult to see it. Just in the altiplano, high plateau lagoons, you can see it. Vizcachas, wild rabbits, the puma lion. Also, puma is a Quechua name, okay, from the border of Bolivia and also Peru. Because here, the Mapuches, because I live in a Mapuche area, which we call Huilliche, South, they call it Pangui. That's the Mapuche name for the puma. But very few people, of course, the people who are Mapuche or Huilliche, they call it Pangui. I will say the rest of the people, they call it one now as a puma. Then we have the puma in the whole country. I will say it's very different. I never saw any puma in north of Chile. Here in this area, yes. I think in my life I saw in a wild areas 10 times puma. Because I've been, working in a very deep places, forests, close to the mountain, close to the border with Argentina. Sometimes I've been riding, I don't know, 2, 3 days before, not anymore. 5 days, 10 days in a mountain with a vaquiano. So I had a chance to see the puma in a very, in Austral Highway. Remember, I saw 2 times in the Baca River area, beautiful area, and then in Torres del Paine, of course. And then, you have I say before, the guanaco foxes, the red foxes, gray foxes, the river and sea otters, beautiful animal, very fun, especially when you go to visit the penguins, also the penguins, and the colony penguin here, Humboldt and Magellan penguins. You can see the Huillin, very nice otter, and then of course other type of bird, flamencos, Chilean flamencos, and then Parina flamenco, James flamenco up on the altiplano, the Andean condor, which is Magnus, especially in down south of the Paine. You have places where you can see this Magnus bird. Eagles, falcons, caranchos, or a lot of birds that I've been note because I'm not specialized in bird. I'm not a bird watcher. But I noticed that UK people love to be bird watchers. Right. I will say if I see a travelers, it's a group of bird watchers from UK.
Yeah. So is there a good region to visit if you like bird watching?
Yes, it is. It is. I would say from north to south, because in north they have bird, for example, Cholito de la Puna, that you are not to see it here. And here, for example, in an endemic bird is the Chucao tapaculo. It's a ratonidae bird that you can see it just in our type of forest, and that's it. All right. And then, of course, in down south, if you want to take a very good photo, we have a couple places where you can see the condors. Is a Magnus. I will say, depend on the bird that you want to see it, because also in Chiloé Island, with just from here 1 hour driving by the Pan American Highway to south, you have a lot of places in Chiloé Island where I would say Chiloé Island is kind of the place where a bird watcher want to be when they visit a Lake District, right?
Ah, wow. Now, Chile being a large country, there must be a lot of good opportunities, to uh, watch the stars, open skies. Is In Europe, of course, we have so much light pollution, too many cities and towns. We don't get to watch the outside world. Are there good places to go for that?
Yeah, of course. North of Chile. North of Chile is the place for stargazing. From our Coquimbo district, Valle del Elqui. Valle del Elqui is another famous spot, maybe not famous overseas, but for Chilean and some of the people they want to see of stars and spend a really good time in this up on this valley. We have telescopes there, very important. And if you drive up to the north, you will find places beautiful. And also remember 2019 when it was the first eclipse, solar eclipse. I participated with a company. We went to north of Chile, very in the deep of the Atacama, close to Copiapó. Fantastic, just blue sky, and then you can see how it was turned everything black, and dark. It was fantastic, and then if you drive up to Atacama, San Pedro Atacama today, where also you will find beautiful hostel, good hotel levels, restaurant, stargazing tours. They are being very well developed. You must know that in the Atacama also is located ALMA. ALMA projects is another telescope irradiation base, which it was built over 5,600, hill altitude. Yeah, it is the war years. I don't know how you say in the technique word, but it's located up there. And also in Chile, is going to build the largest telescope. Okay,
Mm.
the largest telescope in Chile, the extremely large telescope, by ESO, and it's going to be in built in Cerro Armazones, Atacama, so south from San Pedro. Okay, it's going to be the largest one. So it's been very good places when you have travelers. For example, now I have those ladies from United States where after the Moon Valley, okay, they want to join a stargazing tour. I have another Aussie family from Australia. They want to visit in December. They want to stay there 5 days, and also they want to stay there. They want to do the stargazing. Then I have another traveler and a small group do. So today, the overseas people, they know that Atacama, San Pedro, is one of the good places to see, this beautiful star as a stargazing tour.
Yeah. Ah, well, it sounds lovely. Um, so you mentioned, of course, that Chile is a wine growing region. A good friend
Oof.
of mine uh, uh, said to me that you must have red wine from Chile. I'm sure I'm sure white wine is good as well.
Yeah,
Um,
it is.
so, what are the best regions, or is the visitor spoilt for choice?
Oof, difficult because I think in Chile we are close to 350 vineyards. All right, many of them boutiques. Of course, we have the largest and famous one, Conchitoro, is the largest winery in Chile, and also they have wine, and they get wine from different regions. Um, Wine of Chile, you can find it at the area of Elqui Valley. So we're talking up to not very not in the top of the country, where it's located, Elqui. We have a wonderful wine too. And also in the Elqui and north of Chile, we produce the pisco. because also we have pisco. Okay, in Chile, and here in South America, Peru and Chile, we are the only producer of pisco. But we're talking about wine. From that area to Chiloé, so here where I live in, okay, in latitude 43, now small companies, small boutique vineyard, they are producing wine. For example, here in Chiloé, Aurelio Montes Alfa, this is one of the famous wine in Chile. Aurelio Montes is the owner, is the enologist. They start the Gris, Chardonnay, and Pinot in this latitude, wine of Chiloé. So I tried just 1-2 times because they are a very small production. I tried the Pinot, wonderful, the Montes. So we have a very, very large production of wine. And then I'm going to ask your question, but you must know that Chile is the largest wine producer in the whole America. All right. So after, I think the number one, you can correct me, I think the number one is France, second, Spain, third, Italy, and number 4 is Chile. All right, in terms of production. All right, now answer your question. I'm going to give you my favorite valley, okay? Because what happened when you go in Chile, you don't really need to pay a very expensive wine. They are expensive wine, but with a wine of $5, $7, okay, you will enjoy it a lot. But if I have to choose a wine or wineries, say I will go to Colchagua Valley. Colchagua Valley is located south, 3 hours and a half south region from Santiago. They have a very nice and tiny town, Santa Cruz, but around, okay, they have the Colchagua and also Apalta, where we produce the main Carmener. Carmener is a new, well, it's not new in Chile, all right, not anymore, but it's been produced by the wineries, I will say, after the 80s, 90s, when it was rediscovered. It was a rediscovered, this grape. And now Chile is the number 1 producer in Carmener. Every time that when we have travelers, overseas travelers, we recommend Carmener because we know our Cabernet Sauvignon is famous, all right? Or is the famous one in Chile. And we know in not many places you will find Carmener. So today also, I am a fanatic of Carmener from Colchagua Valley, for example, Montes, Apalta, also Apalta Valley, close to Apalta is a winery, but Apalta is another wine close to Colchagua, wonderful boutique wine. They have a very special terroir, which is very important in the wine production, okay? Beaumanent is another winery that I like very much. I'm not talking about big, wineries compared to Conchitoro, Santa Rita, Errázuriz. No. I'm talking about medium and medium small. Viña La Rosa, but the wine, the grape is Carmenere, red wine. Okay, and of course we have white. That is why when we start our postcard, I tell you, if somebody when we have travelers and we have the choice at the first day, go to the Maipo Valley, where most of the wineries, they are specialized in red wine, Cabernet Sauvignon. The next day we cross a different wine region where they produce Carmener, Chardonnay, Pinot, which is Casablanca, Sauvignon Blanc as well. Very fruity. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, Colchagua Valley. This is the place. This is my favorite.
It sounds like you've tried them all.
Yes, a lot. Yeah, and also I remember I travel before the pandemic and when pandemic, and also when I have time, I travel many times to different region. I create for a program for wine lovers from 7 days to 3 days, and I found this a beautiful Laura Hardwick, which is another not famous, beautiful boutique with a lot of tradition of um, wine. For example, that was my first time that I tried Carignan. Very nice. Okay, so and today we have every year you have other wine region that is coming and appear as important. Um, San Antonio, Aconcagua Valley, and then Itata. Today, from the last 2 years, we are very focused in Itata. It's quite south of Santiago, 5 hours, 6 hours south, very small, a place where the old farmer, they start using and produce a better wine, especially Pinot and Carignan as well. Can't remember the other grape. Quite new. Very nice. I like
Yeah. Well, we could talk about wine in almost as a separate program.
it. Just wine, different type of wine, depending on
Yeah.
the region, the visit, and also the pisco. Don't remember, we have a great pisco.
But I wanted to make sure I asked you about Chile's national parks. Now, I read that
Mm,
there are 17,
yeah.
and they cover a substantial area of the
Yeah.
entire country.
Yes, it
Um,
is.
so, um, well, very special to have so many parks. Which are the which parks do you recommend people visit, and what can they expect to see?
Oh, it's kind of the same question as the wine. Difficult. Yeah. So, well, actually, in Chile, we have over 52, not
52.
17, 52 national park, 46, 47 national reserve, a kind of a 22 natural monument. We call SNASPED, that conform all the national park network, including the national park network that you are talking about it, which is the Patagonia National Park Network. That those networks are 17. This is one of the things that make me proud in about my country, because very few countries can tell how they can counter this number of national park or national reserve. So our country is covered by national park, or our total surface is 21% of the total country by national park, national reserve. I'm not counting the marine national park, where we have 10. And also we have one of the largest marine national park on the world after the Australia Reef. Uh, yeah, so we have more than 18 million hectares covered by national park, 21% of the total surface of Chile, from the top to the bottom. But the national park, the Patagonia National Park Network, okay, founded by Douglas Tompkins, he died also many years ago in Patagonia. He did a kayak. He created a wonderful, national park network. He started in our region, and also I remember today he has a foundation, but he has a house here in Puerto Vara, my town. Okay, and um, and today this national park network is part of our national park system. Okay, uh, uh, because Douglas Tompkins Foundation. Today they call it Rebuilding Chile. That's the name of the foundation of the Douglas Tompkins, and today is follow the task his wife Kristen Tompkins. And also they make me very proud because for a year I worked very hard, and I am one of the local travel agencies that they supported. So if you go to the website, you will find my logo and my travel company there. So, okay, so I am one of the travel agency that I've been certificate for rebuilding, and because I operate couple programs and in this part of the national park, and also we visit a couple national park, in our programs. It's a great task today. I think it's going to be launched very probably this year, so the next year, a new national park that is going to be part of this network in Tierra del Fuego, Cape Horn, okay, Cabo de Hornos, at the very, very end of the war, before the Antarctica. Yeah. But asking your question is, of course, so I'm going to be very local. So I will say the national park you must travel and visit, because we know it's not famous, but it's the oldest national park in Chile, created in 1926. It's our national park, Vicente Pérez Rosales. It's just 1 hour, 50 minutes driving northeast from Puerto Varas. Beautiful national park, which cover over 380,000 hectares. Okay, where also concentrate lakes, river, and volcanoes, active volcanoes. At least we have 4, and also links other national park, Puyehue in north, and then Nahuelhuapi National Park in Argentina, with Lanín, also Lanín National Park in Argentina. All those national park form or has over 1,300,000 hectares protected, and is part of the Andes Patagónicos UNESCO World Reserve for the rainforest, because you concentrate a lot of the rainforest there. All right. Then, as a national park, of course, is the famous one in Chile, Torres del Paine. Okay, Torres del Paine, but Torres del Paine has a lot of promotion, okay, but it's one of the must visit. Then, of course, Rapa Nui, the island, 80% of the island is national park. So Rapa Nui National Park, okay. And then, in Atacama, which is a natural reserve with 5 different areas, Flamingos National Reserve, where it's located San Pedro, where you can visit the geyser area, Miñique, Miscanti volcanoes, up on the Altiplano, so we're talking over 3,500 meters above sea level, and then the Atacama Salt Flat, Chaxas Lagoon. So we have so many national park, national reserve, and that is made Chile made so beautiful, my country, and also so different from north or from to the top to the bottom. Okay, yeah.
No, it doesn't, and I think it highlights why one visit can never be enough.
No, not at all. And then you have all this national park, Patagonia National Park network, which also start in our region, in our province, with Alerce Andino National Park. It's the first national park of the Patagonia National Park network, where also you can see one of the oldest trees in the world with over 3,500 years, the redwood or Alerce or Lagüen, because that is the name of the Mapuches give them this beautiful and very old tree.
I suppose then it's important. I was going to say, conservation is very important part of maintaining parks, isn't it? You can't
Yes.
have too many people in it, I suppose, and there must be parts which are never touched.
Yeah. It is a very hard. It is a very hard work, and no one, even Chilean, we like protect our land. For example, we are not a hunting country, Sometimes I found travelers, they say, yeah, Andrea, we would like to hunt in some bird, that, whatever. And say, mm-mm. In our country, we don't really want to hunting. If you want to hunting, cross the Andes, go to Argentina. They like to hunting, not us. We like to care our wildlife. We like to care our forest. But we know it's difficult, according to our geography, to care all those national parks. Okay, but every time we have we are creating more national park. We know we have sometimes we belong to the risk of the minery companies in also Chile were huge. Okay, in my area, salmon industry. I'm not against of the salmon industry because I know it's very important for people, for the industry, job, generate better life for the people. Just we want to the salmon industry care the ecosystem or care more, try to do the best. All right. The same of with the minery, the same of with the lithium in north of Chile, forests today, forest they understand and growing for a wood purpose, eucalyptus and different type of pine. Every time it's less and less local forest. Our forests take 200, 300 and more time to be an adult tree. So we have to protect it.
Yeah. Well, it's been an absolute delight to have a chat to you. The time just flies by, doesn't it? And
You're right.
we could we could talk about travel for a very long time. So
Yeah, sure.
I just wanted to thank you very much for joining us today. I'm sure no, it's been very interesting talking to you about Chile.
All right. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for giving me this chance and invite people from UK to visit Chile, visit our region. Okay, and I'm really sure that Chile will be very good for you for your travel.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be.
Okay. Thank you.